Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to go ahead and share 5 picture books I love to read when talking about friendship with your K through 2 classroom. Now you can talk about friendship at any point in time throughout the year in your classroom, but there are a couple times I really like to focus on it. First is towards the beginning of the year, as your students might be looking around the classroom, seeing some unfamiliar faces, and thinking about trying to start some new friendships. The other time I like to read about friendship and read some friendship books is during the end of the year, as that classroom community kind of comes to a close. The end of the year is kind of a tricky time for your young students, as some of them maybe have built some strong relationships and some strong friendships with their classmates that may not necessarily carry over into the next year if they're placed in different classrooms or if students move over the summer. So I like to also bring up that idea of friendship at the end of the year so we can celebrate the friendships that we've made in the classroom. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share 5 of my favorite picture books. I will share a little bit about why I like each one and what lessons you can teach to your own students as you read them. If you've seen my videos before, then welcome back. And if you are new here, my name is Susan Jones. I'm a former first grade and K through 2 literacy teacher who now spends a lot of time here on YouTube sharing tips, ideas, activities, and lots of videos for teachers just like you. So let's dive in. Okay, the first book I want to share is called Stick and Stone by Beth Ferry, and this is such a cute picture book about the importance of friendship and how without any friends you can feel pretty lonely, and how friends really make your life that much better. At the start of the book, both Stick and Stone are both alone and they feel pretty lonely until they meet up with one another on the swing set, and they're kind of having fun until this pine cone makes fun of Stone. And when he does, Stick stands up for him. And that way Stick and Stone are kind of like, wait a second, when you have a friend, you know, they can stand up for you. You have somebody to have your back. You're not feeling so lonely in those tricky situations. They go on to have lots and lots of fun, and then later Stick gets stuck in a puddle, and Stone can actually help him out by physically removing him from the pond. And this just shows that, you know, friends can help one another physically, they can help one another with their words, and they can just be there to have one another's back throughout life. It's such a cute little story that really just shares how friends can bring so much joy to our lives, and that having a friend is so much better than being alone. All right, book number 2 I want to share is called Strictly No Elephants by Lisa Manchev, and this one is about a little boy and his friend, his pet elephant, and the kind of the friendship they build, but it's about much more than that. It's about inclusivity and kind of accepting everyone and how that makes you feel. In this story, the little boy talks about how he has a pet elephant, and you know, not everybody has a pet elephant. They have other pets like cats and dogs, but they also talk about their friendship. And this phrase, "that's what friends do," comes up a few times in the story. They lift one another over the cracks. Friends never leave anyone behind. And in the story, they go to Pet Club Day, where when they arrive, it says there are strictly no elephants allowed. And naturally, the boy feels pretty sad, but the elephant is there, his friend is there to pick him up and get him on his way. And he meets another little girl with a skunk who also isn't allowed in Pet Club Day. It's an important talking point in this story to talk about how it feels to be left out and what we can do to ensure that others aren't excluded from our own activities. At the end of the book, they decide to all create a place where all pets and all people are welcome, and you can even see towards the end that some of the boys and girls who were at the other pet club with the dogs and the cats, they decide to actually join here instead. And that's another question you can ask your students. Why do you think they decided to come over and play with all the pets instead of staying in their club where only cats and dogs were allowed? I cannot recommend this book enough. It is such a great one to talk with your students about people feeling left out, about what friendship really means, and if you and your friend are kind of excluding others, are you being really good friends even if you guys have a close bond? Are you, helping others in the same way? And what a good friend really would do. Also, if you happen to be a member of my SJT writing club, I did go ahead and upload story-based writing units for both Strictly No Elephants and Stick and Stone this month. So go ahead and log in and you can download download all of your materials for each of these books. All right, book number 3 I want to share is My Friend is Sad by Mo Willems. And really there's quite a few Elephant and Piggy books you could share about friendship, because Elephant and Piggy are the best of friends and they go through all these different adventures where things come up and they have to help one another. So I'm pretty sure in almost every single Elephant and Piggy book you could find some element of friendship. In this one in particular, Piggy notices right away that his best friend Gerald is sad. And so what does he want to do? He wants to make him happy. So he tries to be a cowboy, he tries to be a clown, he tries to be a robot, and he really tries to just cheer up Gerald. In the end, it's a really cute story because Gerald says, "Oh my gosh, Piggy, you're here. I was so sad without you." And he didn't understand that all those different characters were actually Piggy just trying to cheer him up. But he was so sad because he wanted Piggy to be there with him. It has classic Mo Willems humor and the kids are always laughing at these Elephant and Piggy books. And along the way you can talk about what you can do if one of your friends is sad. How would you cheer them up? What are some things you would do and how does it make you feel if one of your friends is feeling sad? And real quick, 2 other Mo Willems Elephant and Piggy books that I love for friendship are Can I Play Too? In this one, Elephant and Piggy meet Snake and Elephant and Piggy are playing catch and Snake wants to play, but you know, Snake doesn't have any arms. So this one again is about inclusivity and how we can change up the games we're playing to allow everyone to play and for everyone to be able to have fun. It's a really great one. And then I also have Should I Share My Ice Cream? I actually include this one in my Friendship Day end of the year unit. I'll go ahead and link that down in the description in case you are still at the end of the year. And this is a fun one where Gerald has some ice cream and he has this internal struggle between sharing it with his best friend because he knows he'll love it, but also he wants to eat it himself. So those are just 2 other great Elephant and Piggy books that you can add into the friendship mix. All right, the 4th book I love to read aloud when teaching about friendship is called The Adventures of Beagle, the Unimaginary Friend by Dan Santat. Now at first this book seems like it's about just having imaginary friends, and of course it is because Beagle is an imaginary friend, and he's kind of waiting up in imaginary land for a real kid to choose him as imaginary friend. But it kind of takes a twist, and if you talk about this with your students, it takes that twist of Beagle decides, you know what, I don't want to sit here and wait anymore for someone to choose me as a friend. I'm gonna take a risk, I'm gonna go out on my own, and I'm going to try to make my own friend. And this is a good thing for your students to recognize that maybe they don't need to just sit around and wait. Maybe they should take a little bit of a risk, really try to put themselves out there and try to make their own friends. This is a great story to give some of your shyer students a little push and explain that yes, it can be scary and it can be a little bit lonely to put yourself out there, but you will find your people. Both Beckel and Alice at the end of the book recognize that they're really each other's first friend, and while they just found one another, they kind of don't know how to act just yet, which can be a pretty normal thing, especially in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. When your students are that young, they're still really learning about one another, they're still learning those social cues and those social rules and expectations that you might have with a friend, and this book just lets you feel a little more comfortable in doing that, and knowing that when you put yourself out there, not every person is going to necessarily be for you. Not every person is going to be your first friend or your best friend, but you will find your Beagle or you will find your Alice. And the last book I want to go ahead and share all about friendship is The Sandwich Swap. Now, this book is cool because it is written by both Kelly DiPuccio, but it's written mostly by Queen Rania, and she's actually a real queen of Jordan, and this story is inspired by her own real experience. The story is mostly about 2 little girls, Salma and Lily, and they are the best of friends. They sit together every day at lunch, and every day Lily has a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and Salma has a hummus and flatbread sandwich, or a hummus and pita sandwich. And every single day they just talk to one another and they kind of think in their head, ew, that sandwich looks gross, but they don't really say anything. And then one day one of the girls decides to share, your sandwich kind of looks gross. And the girl looks at it and she says, well, wait a second. My mom makes the sandwich for me every single day. I love this. You know what? I think your sandwich is gross. And their hurt feelings turn into anger. And throughout the story, you know, each girl, they kind of separate, they're angry with one another, and they get other kids in the classroom and in the lunchroom on their side. And they create this huge fight that actually escalates into a big food fight in the cafeteria. As the girls watch the food fight, they're both embarrassed by their own behavior, and they also miss their friendship with one another, and they wish they hadn't let it get that far. So at the end, as the title insinuates, the sandwich swap, they decide to each take a bite of one another's sandwiches and recognize that, wait a second, this actually isn't bad at all. In fact, it's delicious. And this book is all about just not only recognizing and accepting, but also celebrating our differences that we have with our friends. It's a great discussion point to talk about how all of our friends don't need to be just like us. They don't need to like all the same things as we do. Even though, of course, it's great to have some things in common, it's also nice to recognize that when someone is not like you in every single way, there are things that you can learn about them and you can help yourself grow too. So there you have 5 great picture books to read aloud if you are wanting to talk about friendship with your K-2 classroom. I hope you noticed that with each book there's a slightly different aspect of friendship that I touched upon. From Stick and Stone, it's just about how friends make your life better and the importance of friendship. We talk about inclusivity, we talk about celebrating one another's differences, we talk about putting yourself out there to go make friends, and then also with the Elephant and Piggy books, we talk about what you can do if a friend is sad and how that might make you feel. There are so many great picture books about friendship out there, so if you have some others off the top of your head that you love to read in your classroom, share them down in the comments. I love reading book suggestions from other teachers. As you can see behind me, I have a lot of picture books and I read them with my own 2 boys all the time, and I'm always looking for and collecting new ones. If you enjoyed any of these book ideas, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you get notified of every new video that I upload. See you guys on Sunday. Bye.